What's up, guys? I pray all is well. Just looking at some stats. We've got a couple of homes that are on the market, and we are seeing some interesting things in the real estate market that I think that are important, right? So I'm gonna share just a couple things with you. So first of all, like we like to look week by week. This market is a week by week market, right? Interest rates went up by almost a full percent in over like 4 weeks. And the effects of war, of gas, of consumer sentiment, of a lot of things that are going on locally, sometimes will have an impact like 2 or 3 weeks after they happen, because that's when the data comes out, right? So the one thing that we noticed last week was showings were down pretty significantly. Now, we were flying really high at the beginning of the year because interest rates were lower, right? But interest rates went up, gas stayed up, consumer sentiment and war all stayed, top of mind. And we saw almost an 11% decrease in showings, right? The other thing that we saw, which is a number that we need to make sure that we're really, really aware of as real estate professionals, is canceled listings were up this year by almost 30%. And they were up almost 11% from where they were last week to this week. So what we're seeing is we're seeing some tailwinds in the market that aren't necessarily alarming, right? If you look back at the real estate market, anytime we've had war, anytime we've had uncertainty in the market, specifically, in the DMV market, and then you add on Doge, and then you add on just, a lot of the things that are going on around here, socioeconomically, this is what we see right now. Um, I'm going to monitor what happens over the next 3 to 4 weeks if we see an uptick in showings, right? Because we are not used to seeing showings being down in the spring. Normally, we'll see the ramp up in showings, right? So, just what I'm seeing in the market, is not to scare you, but it is to prepare you. There are some markets that we have already seen a 10% decrease in the DMV in Northern Virginia. And there's some markets that we've seen a 2 to 3% decrease in, right? But I always remind our sellers, like, we're decreasing from the high, right? We're decreasing from, a 75% run up or 85% run up, right? So your house was here, it ran up like this over the past 5 years, and now we're talking about it coming down here. The good thing about it is it's not all the way down here, right? So, if you want to have a little bit more of a conversation about it, we can. I am always monitoring it. I'm looking at it week by week. I'm one of the few agents that get really nerdy about these things. So again, I'm just showing you this so that we can prepare, when the time comes for us to be on the same page, right? And if I see anything that changes, I will let you know. But yeah, it's this spring, this summer is going to be some shaky times in the housing market, and I've been telling people that I think this is going to be a long term thing. This is going to be another 2 3 year push, if things stay the way they are, right? So um, again, we are on top of it. We still have sold 50 homes so far this year, and we'll sell a lot more. It just means that we need to be prepared with the data, right? And react to the data instead of hiding behind the data or not knowing about where the trends are going. All right. Have any questions, let me know. Talk to you soon.